Yo, people, we back again, man. We back again. Sorry for that. The scheduling, I know it hasn't been as consistent in it, but it's summer in it. The weather's out. The ones you gotta enjoy yourself. You gotta enjoy yourself. Just like how I did this on Saturday. Champions of Europe. We know who we are. But before we get into that, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share with your people. Them ones. Let the channel grow. Make sure you hit the bell notification so that you're up to date whenever we pull new things up. Especially now that the Euros is on, footy season is finished, Copa America as well. You might need to keep up to date with what's going on, man. But there's no actually before we start with the Champions League, let's start with the little brother one, Europa League. Yeah, I know you put yourself on mute, but we have to put you on blast in it because what you man did was unacceptable. But I mean, what is there to say? Oli messed up in it. Man waited to 100 minutes to make a sub. Obviously, before we go into Oli, let's go into some of the players in it. And I want to start with you, Dan, because you were talking about Bruno in it. So, what was your thoughts about his performance last Wednesday?
Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. I think it's like Bruno's now he's got a bit of a reputation for not doing anything in big games. And I mean, like, this is the game that if you want to shake that reputation, then this is the game to turn up. I mean, he played the whole game, went to penalty, 2 hours of football, and off the top of my head, I can't think of anything he done, like anything. I know it was a while ago, but he was very, very poor, very poor. And I mean, like, it's all fine and good scoring goals when the team is there's not really much pressure on the team, but in them big moments when the team needs you to score, when you need a goal, when you need something to be created, that's when you need to step up, and that's when you establish yourself as the best player. Like I was seeing comparisons to Lampard and stuff this season. Like when you don't step up in Europa League finals against Villarreal, I don't think you can be put anywhere near that category. I think Bruno, granted, he wasn't the only one. I don't think there was anyone really that had a good game. McTominay is the only one, and he wasn't fantastic, but he was probably the biggest one because he's the biggest name right now at Man United. Like he's kind of taken the mantelpiece from Pogba as kind of the alpha of the team, and you expect him to kind of effectively be the leader on the pitch. And it was just a very, very disappointing performance from him and the whole team.
Mm. All right, what was your thoughts on Bruno's performance and even United's performance in general?
Um, yeah. Firstly, I think the a lot of the players were poor. Not having Maguire was a huge miss. Because Lindelof and Baye, it's not the best centre back pairing, to be fair. There was rarely any ball progression. There was a part where I saw them passing the ball between themselves, like maybe up to 10 times or something, because no one could really drive the ball forward and stuff like that. And I think Maguire, he usually does that for them. So they didn't have that person there. Then yeah, Bruno wasn't in the game. He just couldn't really put any phases of play together. Um Rashford as well was quite disappointing. Um I don't really understand the midfield setup that Ole used. I'm not a huge fan of Pogba in a pivot. So he played Pogba and McTominay. McTominay played well in my opinion. He was probably one of their best players that day. Pogba, yeah, he wasn't too in that. I feel like he should have just stuck with Pogba out wide and maybe Rashford on the other side. I'm not too sure why he didn't just go with the Fred McTominay pivot. Um, I'm not sure. Maybe Fred wasn't completely fit. I don't know much about that, but yeah, I feel like Pogba should have probably started out wide. Um, yeah, not much to say. Um, you know, disappointing for them, disappointing setup. Bruno, he didn't really get into it. Like Dan said about the big game thing, I think now it will kind of be like a mental thing for him, where like he wouldn't be able to step up frequently. So he just kind of has to like go past that phase and try and be more influential in games like that. But yeah, nothing much else to say. I think actually Emery actually did set up quite nicely. I think he did know that, there was a slim chance of trying to beat United. So I feel like he probably just played the long game and tried to get it to penalties. And even from their penalties, you could kind of tell that it was something they worked on, because a lot of the penalties were quite, spectacular and stuff like that. Despite De Gea probably, maybe could have saved a couple, but still, I do think that a lot of the pens were quite good. So yeah, I think Emery, he just low block set up that way to just hold back, defend and stuff like that. And United didn't have anyone to, play between the lines, break that play. The person who was meant to do that is Bruno, but like, Dan said, and like we all saw, he was nowhere to be found really. So yeah.
What about you, Sarah? What was your thoughts on the game in general?
Like initially, I thought Pogba playing in the double pivot. He started off okay. Like I thought he was playing a few nice passes, and I think where like in the last like couple months he's been playing out wide, and like the McTominay Fred pivot has been the main thing that he's used. I think maybe it was just him getting back into it, but I thought it wasn't a problem with Pogba playing there. I think I think Fernandez, I think he has to do more in terms of getting in and around Capu and Parejo. Like it made them look like that he was getting marked out of the game, but really he just, I don't know, maybe he's tired or something. But like you guys said, like it was just a lot of sideways passing and trying to get it from A to B in one pass. It wasn't working. Rashford as well looked tired. He was just passing it backwards or just with Shaw all the time. I think the penalties as well. They definitely worked on it, and some of them were savable. But a lot of people were giving De Gea a lot of stick at the end. I think you need to be winning these games in like 120 minutes because you're the favourites going in, the heavy favourites, and I don't know, wasn't it? They only had like 3 shots on target or something. Like that's just not good enough, man. Like and like the substitutions, like even I know we say like Man United they have options, but they're not the greatest. But not to make any changes in a final when you have the opportunity to make 5, I think that's pretty poor. Yeah, I think Maguire missing as well. Like it didn't help them either. But yeah, not a very good game.
Like the fact that he didn't make a sub up to
In the first 90 minutes.
Yeah, I think that showed that he was just looking at pens. I think that it really just showed he was looking only at pens. Because if you look at that it made sense to keep Bruno Rashford on because they scored their pens in it, but it looked like he wasn't actually looking to win the game on that sort of basis. I don't know, but yeah, Denzel, what was your thoughts on it now that you've calmed down? It's been like a week since the final, so
yeah, I've had a week to digest the nonsense that I witnessed for 120 minutes on Wednesday. You can blame everyone pretty much. The only person that I wouldn't give blame to is Scott McTominay because he's the only one who actually looked like he gave a crap and he was the only one who actually tried in the game. Obviously, after the game ended, I was pissed off. I was angry. Obviously, the penalty shootout was the thing that got on my nerves, but Ole letting it get to penalties in the first place. Like, I was sitting there yelling at the TV, screaming, make us up, make us up, make us up. Because if we're in extra time and you could see that the Man United players were tired, the Villarreal players were getting back into the game because Emery made like a stupid amount of substitutions and it worked to his favour. So Ole was just being naive. Like, even, I know Dan James is there, but just put Dan James on or something. Like, put somebody on to give us a little bit of, just give us some energy. Like, but I don't care. Just put Dan James, you bought Van der Beek for £35 million and it's extra time. Your players have no energy and you're still leaving them on the bench. I don't understand this. You've spent £50 million on a wonder kid. Just chuck him on there. Like, Rashford was doing nothing. I'm sorry. I love Marcus Rashford. He had an abysmal game. He was absolutely terrible. Pogba didn't do anything. Bruno didn't do anything. Cavani tried. I'll give Cavani some props. He actually tried to make an impact. Yeah, it was just a mess. It was just a mess. Obviously, it's just, I wasn't too heartbroken, to be honest, because it's the Europa League. At the end of the day, if it was a Champions League final, I'd be vexed. I'd be very, very angry. But it's second tier European competition, so I wasn't too mad about that. But yeah, it's just a penalty shootout. I have to break it down quickly. Everyone scored their penalties. 11 times Villarreal scored. You couldn't save it once to Hill. Not one save. You couldn't make one save. Nah, I'm not having that. I think next season we have to make a decision on the number one, and I'm leaning towards Henderson because I think De Gea is kind of finished.
I kind of agree with that. I think De Gea is finished. Henderson, he's just too inconsistent. I think there is a good goalkeeper. I don't know if he's going to be a top quality goalkeeper. But there is a good goalkeeper. I don't know if he's United quality per se. Innit? Another player, I don't want to draw him out in it, but you and Denzel and Ori have defended him, but I think you guys got to realize eventually Wan-Bissaka right now, bro. Because if you actually look at the game, yeah, they allowed Wan-Bissaka to have a lot of the ball. If you look, Wan-Bissaka put a lot of crosses in.
Happens every game, though. Every game.
Oh, he's not even trying to violate or buzz him, bro. His on the ball skills is so poor, bruv. And the fact that teams are looking to say, we don't want Shaw to have the ball, we'd rather have Wan-Bissaka have the ball. It shows you, bro. Nah, man. Defensively, I mean, he's just slide tackling. I'm not even sure if he's that good defensively, in my opinion. Defending is more than just tackling. In my opinion, he's such a limited player. I'm sorry. He's so limited.
Nah, you've been blinded by what this stupid thing where people think that modern day fullbacks have to be bombing up forward all the time and they're valuing their attacking presence more than their defensive presence. It doesn't. I just, the whole attacking fullback thing, like, it actually gets on my nerves so much because of in this day and age we're rubbing out fullbacks that are good at defending. And what a fullback is a defender, like he's a right back. He's
fundamentally a defender.
He's a defender. He's meant to be defending, and people are saying he's trash. People are saying he's whack. What? Because he's not as good going forward as other fullbacks. But defensively, he's probably the best. He's probably the best fullback in his position defensively.
And so defensively, he's more than slide tackling, though. Exactly. And his positioning is up there with the worst in the league. How many times has he been caught at the back post? It happens nearly every second week.
I'm sorry. Look, he's only 23. He can still improve, but right now he's so limited.
But doesn't that say more about Man United? The fact that they're just giving it to him to try and whip the ball into Cavani. Like, shouldn't they should be trying to create chances from other phases of play?
No, but like, yeah, of course I agree with that. But the teams are targeted him, saying we don't want any of your other players to get the ball, so we're gonna force it so that you switch the ball just purely to the right. So Wan-Bissaka is your main attacking outlet. And when he is your main attacking outlet, he can't create nothing. I'm not trying to say he's a shocking footballer. It's just that he's so limited.
But then you should. I don't think we could, like. Okay, his ball skills aren't good, but I personally don't care that that says more about Man United in my opinion than Wan-Bissaka. Like, to be able to slide tackle and have that high success rate, game in, game out, every single week. That is, you don't see that often now. Like, I rate that a lot from him.
I don't know. For me, I don't know. I see him defending more than just slide tackling. I'm sorry. So
what? Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. We can question his attacking ability and his positioning. Fair enough. I won't dispute that. Going forward, is not someone that excites you going forward. But that's not what we signed him. We didn't sign him. We didn't sign him to be in the opposition's final half. Doing stepovers,
bro, I can't
doing all that BS, man. He's not a right winger. I don't get.
You're Man United. You're gonna have most of the ball. So I'm sorry. In modern day, your fullback does need to be somewhat good at going forward.
Yeah, but then Wan-Bissaka's Luke Shaw's a more progressive one.
I was gonna say that. Like, there's literally, you have to have balance.
Every single team has that.
We have an attacking fullback in Luke Shaw. And we have an offensive fullback in Wan-Bissaka.
No, I'm sorry. You both.
Wait. I need to say something, because we've all just, we've not spoken about the elephant in the room, which is, why does everyone think that Wan-Bissaka is not good going forward?
Come on, man.
When teams back off him and allow him the ball, I think it says a lot.
You think it says a lot when teams back off him? Because I'm from what I've seen, I don't know, but from what I've seen, I think Bissaka is good going forward, and I don't know how people don't get that.
I don't agree with you, bro.
I just think it's a confidence thing. To be honest, it's like it's
It
the
might be. It
confidence.
might be.
Do you
He
know?
can
Do you know?
go forward. He can go forward, but it's his confidence on the ball. Sometimes his decision making is a bit iffy, but it's not. I wouldn't say he's bad going forward. A lot of people like to rub him out, say it's just he's whack. As soon as he gets the ball, it's a calamity. But
You know what? I think because like there's just really something about when people like they're players who play unorthodoxly and everybody suddenly just feels like they're bad and stuff like that. I feel like that's something that has to do with like the way football has just been perceived, where if something doesn't look aesthetically pleasing, you just think that, okay, it's not good. Because in terms of 1v1, beating the man, Bissaka is one of the best fullbacks who does that. Statistically as well.
I'm not doing it based on statistics. I'm
Let
looking
me
at what
go.
I see. I'm looking at what I see.
Josh, what are you talking about?
Successful dribbles. Let's see an attacking fullback who people talk about in modern game. Trent Alexander-Arnold. So attacking. Successful dribbles. Bissaka, 69% this season. Trent, could you guess?
Wait, how many have they attempted though?
But Trent doesn't attempt many dribbles, does he?
How many have they attempted though?
Let's check Trent successfuls. Okay. Wait, let me get that out. Trent is on 20%.
20%.
Yes.
Okay.
20%.
And I want to hear people.
14 big chances.
Accurate crosses. Wait, one sec.
What as a percentage, Wan-Bissaka should be higher because Trent will obviously attempt more.
Bro, I'm basing this just on what I've seen
if you attempt more. So you just want Alex. If Bissaka is whipping balls in from left center, I mean, at the end of the day, one of them would eventually go in, I guess. But at the same time, you don't just whip balls in all the time.
Exactly, it shouldn't be like that.
His delivery, Wan-Bissaka's delivery isn't bad. You know, he actually has a decent.
I don't understand like why people see he has crosses. He gets assists.
He has a good delivery on him.
I really don't get what people say that he's good going forward.
I'm not.
It's probably one of the biggest myths I've seen that Bissaka isn't good going forward.
People are forgetting this guy was a winger. He was actually an attacking player before.
Yeah, he probably wasn't a very good winger. That's why he became a fullback.
Come off it. He was at Crystal Palace as a winger. And then he got molded into a right back at Crystal Palace. So how people...
So you're arguing he's good attack going forward?
I'm not saying he's the best going forward, but I'm not saying he's whack going forward like everyone else thinks he is.
I think he's very limited.
I'll be real with you. Even if the stats are telling you he's fantastic going forward, like even if they're saying he's the best going forward in the world, from what I've seen from teams backing up every single week, I've seen him he dispossessed himself multiple times this season. From what I've seen, he doesn't look confident. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He looks poor going forward. Maybe it's that he doesn't have a winger. Maybe that there's no winger to help him, which I understand that, but I don't think he's good going forward at all.
People see a couple compilations on Twitter and then assume that he's not good going forward.
No, but
come on, man.
We've watched Man United a lot, and he's not very good going forward. And you might be right saying that it's a confidence thing, because I actually do see at times where he does actually try and dribble past people. Like he actually does try, but my thing is he's just not very good at it. It's simple as that. And that's not to say he's never going to be good at it, but at this current moment, he isn't very good going forward.
How good does he need to get? How good does he need to get for it to be like acceptable?
He needs to be competent. He needs to be at least to the point where it's something that the other team has to bear in mind and kind of take into account when they're defending that Wan-Bissaka is a potential threat. Because as of right now, they're not.
Yeah.
Would I get copyright issues if I show something?
Probably.
It depends if there's the audio. If it has the audio.
Yeah, it has no audio. It's just like
okay. Yeah.
Just mute the audio. We can put it in the comment section. We can just put a
link to it.
A little thing in.
Yeah.
Wait, let me just share my screen.
Not in the comment, in the description. Sorry.
One sec. Okay. Wait, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Or if it's from Twitter, I don't think it'll get copyrighted, but just keep it on mute anyway.
Get copyrighted. Okay, you guys can still see that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Perfect. not good going forward, apparently. Quite bad on the ball, as we can all see. I don't know how clear it is.
It's a bit puffery.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would
It's
be.
not the clearest completely.
Yeah. Let me see if I can switch up my Wi-Fi. Wait 1 sec.
You can still see what you need to see though. To be fair, so.
Yeah, you can still see like what you need to see. But I can't lie. One thing I can't really
Look at
take
that.
comps too seriously, man.
Yeah,
I
comps
can't
made
Yeah,
Dan
but
James look like a good
people-
player, bro.
But
But
look
people
at
look at
multiple
comps and say that
people
he's a
look at
terrible
comp and say he's
player
bad. That's
going
what I don't
forward.
get.
Nah,
Huh?
he's not. He's
People
not
will make
good.
comps saying that he's not good going forward. They'll put like that silly music in the background, and then people
Bro.
will believe that it's trash going forward. But as
Bro,
soon
I'm
as you
not
see
even
a comp
talking
of him
about
doing well,
I'm not
people
even
will just
talking. I'm not even talking about. I don't even watch comps of players' mistakes because I don't think it's
Yeah.
fair. But I watched a lot of Man United this season, and week in week out,
So all this you're seeing right now, you haven't seen him do that when you watch United, or what? I'm so confused.
not on a
Not very
consistent
often.
enough basis.
No, on a
This is-
consistent enough basis.
This is clips of probably 2 or 3 years.
This is probably all from this season, I think.
Sure, I'm not sure.
No,
Look,
but
the
okay.
guys
Okay. So this compilation, as a fullback, you're not going to have loads and loads of progressions. Like this is a whole season of. Like Kufal, for example, he's been amazing this season. But going forward, the compilation will be as long as this. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not going to be
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, you can stop.
I just think
Yeah.
in modern day football, people put too much emphasis on a fullback doing an attacking job rather than a fullback doing what a fullback's supposed to be doing.
I mean, that's
Like
how
people were
valuing
valuing attacking fullbacks over defensive fullbacks, and maybe we can segue that into the England conversation and Southgate because I have a lot of words about Gareth Southgate. But yeah.
Oh yeah, let's
It's
go
just-
through the Champions League and then we'll talk about
Yeah,
England.
we'll talk about your team.
See, with Wan-Bissaka, I'm not saying he cannot improve or this is his ceiling. I'm just saying from what I've seen now, he is very limited on the ball. He can still improve, and you never know. Obviously, United aren't going to get a coach, but we'll talk about the manager merry-go-round. If a manager came in, you know, there's bits that can be worked on. Was it not Lukaku that people are ridiculing about his first touch and this and that? Conte was saying
the first touch thing was kind of a myth anyway.
No, it was because people because what Ori was saying about the aesthetics, people just like to overdo it. But
people pick one thing about a player and then they just like rinse it out just for like the whole, it's quite obvious.
I do.
His Lukaku's first touch was never that bad at United.
I think it's agendas. Like people start running agendas and then people start actually believing it and thinking it's real life.
But with the Lukaku first touch thing, Conte said he did work with him for like 6 months where he got a defense. So it was overstated, but it was worked on because there was areas to improve on. That's the same with Wan-Bissaka. I'm not saying he's a shocking footballer because I know he's not aesthetically pleasing, but
because at the end of the day, someone like Trent has zero progression. 1v1. He literally can't do it. All he can literally do is whip the ball in and he's a good passer. Might as well put Ward-Prowse for right back for Man United because I don't understand. I don't understand because literally Bissaka has more, the more defensive side to his game and still has some parts of him where he could go forward, where he could. I mean, you're not going to sit here and tell me that Bissaka can't whip a good ball in. He can't progress the ball. He can't even beat a man. He literally does all those things. He can't do it. I understand that maybe he doesn't do it as consistently as enough. Maybe that's one thing. And maybe he could do that for longer phases during the game or more times during the game. I hear that, to be fair. But saying he can't do it or he's not capable of doing it, I don't know. I'm not really buying that.
And how much a right back attacks and left back attack is down to the style of play as well. Like he's not going to always be doing it.
Yeah.
And anything attacking for me is a bonus. Like that's the way I see it.
But let's get into the Champions League final quickly. Before we get onto Chelsea and some of the individual performances, let's get onto Pep, or Lep as they like to call him sometimes.
Let's talk about it.
So
Talk about it.
obviously the main surprise and the biggest surprise really was the DM not playing the DM. And you know, sometimes hindsight is beautiful when you have time to like think over things and stuff like that. So it was still wrong for him not to play a DM. No, there's no other way to look at it. But
I don't agree.
no. But wait. I'll tell you.
We'll get into him.
But one thing is that I did understand why he played Sterling, because Sterling offers that runs in behind that your Bernardos, your Fodens, and your De Bruyne's aren't offering. A lot of these guys are ball to feet. Sterling, he's going to make those runs in behind and disrupt the defensive line of Chelsea, innit? Because BT was showing us how compact Chelsea's defensive structure is. You can't really play in between the lines. So obviously, you're not really going to play balls over the top all the time because it's going to be difficult. But you saw with Edison's kick to Sterling how that almost caused an issue for Chelsea. And if you're making runs in behind, you're going to make their defensive line drop, and you then create more spaces in the middle. But Chelsea were very resolute, so that didn't happen. But another thing with the DMs that you actually, when you look at it, you deep, when they did play Fernandinho and Rodri, there was still plenty of spaces that Chelsea were exploiting. So what I actually think is just matchups. Chelsea, when it comes to playing Man City just don't know how to beat Chelsea. I think it's just as simple as that, in my opinion. You can give all you want to Pep saying he did this and that. I just feel like Chelsea are so well drilled that whatever Man City throw at them, they can just easily deal with. So I think that's more with Tuchel rather than Pep, in my opinion. But all right, what were you gonna say?
Actually, I'd rather everyone talk. I want to see what people have to. What
okay. Dan, what's your thoughts on the no DM topic?
Do you know what? The no DM, I understand where Pep was coming from because Chelsea play a compact defensive style of football. So I understand why he done that. Obviously, I don't know if it would have changed the game if he played a DM. We'll never know. It's hindsight. So to say, he should have played a DM, he should have done this. I mean, it's all hindsight. Because if Sterling had scored right at the beginning, they'd won 1-0, then people would have said it's a genius, masterstroke. So I don't know. Like I saw City fans coming out. Big Steve on the Big Six show said that Pep should give an explanation to City fans why he done that. And let's be honest, Pep doesn't owe them anything. Pep doesn't owe Man City fans anything. He doesn't owe them an explanation. Like he's the reason they are where they are. So I don't think he owes them an explanation. I think with City, like Chelsea's defense played well. I think Thiago Silva very good, Rudiger very good, Christensen when he came on very good, Reece James was quality, Aspi, Chilwell the same. But I think Man City just don't do well against counter-attacking teams, and that's been that way for the past 3-4 years. Like we've seen how Man United have consistently beat them counter-attacking. Ollie's record against Pep is good, very good. Arteta beat Pep counter-attacking in the FA Cup semi-final last year. And then before that, I remember Wolves beat Pep and Man City twice or 3 times in a row, counter-attacking with Adama Traore running on the counter. So I think they just struggle against that low block and counter with pace style of football. And I think Chelsea are just a very well-drilled team. And obviously there's quality players in Chelsea's team as well. So when they got the opportunity with Havertz, they scored. And if we're being totally honest, Chelsea probably should have been 3-0 up by half time because Timo Werner missed 2 massive chances. So I think people are more discrediting Pep than giving credit to Chelsea because I'll be honest, City had 1 shot on target all game, and I don't even remember the shot on target. And I think that was a lot to do with Chelsea's rigid structure, the really good performances from the defense, and just their overall discipline. Because there was no City fouls given away, there was no handball shout. Well, there was 1 handball shout, but it wasn't a handball. There was no straight arms in the box, no reckless challenges. So I think more credit has to be given to Chelsea, especially the defenders. But Pep, I don't know where they go from this because they are going to win a Champions League in the next 5-10 years. I think everyone knows that just by the sustainability and but by the amount of money they spent, they will get to that point eventually. But right now, I think there's a massive blow for them because obviously it's their first time in the Champions League. They were the favourites coming in, They just won the league. They were trying to get the treble, as they called it, but they just got outplayed. And it's the third time that Tuchel has outplayed Pep. So going into next season, I don't know if Tuchel and Chelsea are gonna take that number one spot off them, especially with the rumours that Abramovich is going to invest massively.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Yeah, that's true. You know, the 3-3. That's what I'm saying. That Chelsea matchup wise to Man City, they just can't. They can't beat them. What about you, Sarah? What was your thoughts on Pep's team selection?
I didn't watch a lot of the game, but yeah, the DM situation. I originally thought that Zinchenko was going to play alongside like maybe Gundogan, and Gundogan wasn't going to be as going forward as much. Throwback to like 2018, but yeah, I think, and also like packing out the midfield with De Bruyne and then Foden played a bit deeper and stuff like that. And then having just Sterling as your one winger as an outlet, but. Yeah, I just think, yeah, Chelsea were played so compact in that game. There was no space. Reece James had Sterling in his island the whole time. N'Golo Kante stopped De Bruyne, stopped Foden. And surprisingly, for City don't like end-to-end games, do they? They like to control the whole game and limit the other team's chances completely. It was an end-to-end game and it turned into a basketball match at times, I felt like. And I feel like people, I don't know, it's sort of what Dan said as well. Like people overrate the fact that Pep may change it. Pep's always gonna do some weird shit. Let's be honest. Like every single big game, even like random games, and like this season, I think there was some things like Rodri and Fernandinho have started every single game apart from one. So I mean, yeah, maybe he should have started one of them just to control the game a bit more. But like even when Fernandinho came on, the momentum didn't really change, did it? To be honest. And then towards the end, because they have no two options, because they play one way, they were just spamming balls in behind and trying to get like, I don't know, Walker to like cross it in or something. As for Chelsea, I feel like I'm scared because I feel like once Chelsea start playing a back four, if they do it, and they don't need to be honest, they've got a winning formula at the moment. It's dogged, it gets the job done. Maybe they need to score more goals and Timo Werner needs to start converting. But I genuinely think the title race next year is between City and Chelsea, because I think Tuchel has a lot of ways to expand this team and just go forward, and more diversity than Man United and Liverpool, in my opinion. Yeah, I'm scared.
Yeah, what about you, Denzel? What was your thoughts on your nemesis? What was your thoughts on this team selection?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest here. Jokes aside, I don't think the DM situation changed. Would have changed the outcome of the game. I think whether Fernandinho or Rodri was starting, they were gonna concede that goal regardless. I just don't know why he did it. Like I'm struggling to understand what the reasoning behind it was. I feel like Pep has this thing where like he loves to be edgy and he's this mystical guy, Pep Guardiola. He waves his hands about with his bald head and he's just a magician. And it's just, it's all BS. Like, I don't buy into it at all. Like, and he always tries to do that little thing like that will make him, like, that gets people talking and all that. It's a Champions League final. Just do what you know how to do. Like, the whole season you played with a DM, and then the biggest game of your season, you've decided not to play with a DM. Obviously, it probably wouldn't have changed the outcome of the game, but I personally just don't understand why he did it. I don't get why he started Raheem Sterling as well. Like, I love Sterling, he's a great player, but this season he hasn't really been at his best. I feel like
I'll say Sterling was their best attacking player, though.
You think so?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was. Yeah, he
100%.
was.
Only Walker was better than him.
I don't. I'm not too sure. I feel like Reece James did a very good job on handling Sterling. I feel like when Sterling comes up against a decent defensive right back, he struggles. We've seen him struggle against Wan-Bissaka as well, but that's neither here nor there. But I feel like Pep, he overdoes it, and this is a. Let's talk about GOAT talk now, because this is a guy going into this game. People said if he won this game, he'll be definitely undisputed, the greatest manager of all time. He came to Man City to win Champions Leagues, and he's failed to do so. And how many years has Pep been at Man City?
Like
5
5.
or 6.
Yeah.
5 years.
5.
Okay, so when Man City appointed him, obviously you want to win league titles, cool, but they were winning league titles before. The main reason why they appointed Pep Guardiola was to get the dream of the blue side of Manchester winning the Champions League. Yeah, he sold him that dream, all that. He hasn't delivered with that. Since leaving Barcelona, he hasn't won a Champions League trophy. I feel like we need to start looking at Pep Guardiola. He's a fantastic manager, no doubt. But these GOAT shouts, nah.
Wait. So where would you rank him of all time? Even though his career's not finished, but where would you rank him if he's not?
All time, I think, honestly, this might be controversial, but I don't know. I would put him either second or third. I feel like Mourinho. I know Mourinho's kind of had a bad last couple of years, but Mourinho in his prime was something special. So I still would put Mourinho over him.
So Pep's still in the GOAT conversation. He's just not the GOAT yet.
Nah, he's not. Nah, he's not in the GOAT conversation for me though.
If my brother's third, then he is.
What you think the top? You think it's a free horse conversation?
No, I'm saying conversation. Yeah, it's a conversation. I'm
Nah,
not saying
but
he's
people no. I'm
undisputed.
saying people were saying GOAT too. The people saying this guy is the GOAT.
I think
People
that's
were saying
right, though.
that.
I actually
You
think
think
that's
he's
right.
the GOAT?
He's.
You
Yeah,
think
I would
Pep
actually say he is,
Guardiola,
you know.
who hasn't won a Champions League trophy without Lionel Messi,
Not
who's
yet.
gone to Bayern Munich, who's gone to Manchester City, who splashed the cash
Can I?
at every single team he's gone to, is the greatest manager of all time.
I assume you're saying
Because
Fergie's to go. innit?
Denzel,
You're saying
Denzel,
Fergie's
Denzel,
to go.
Denzel. I have something to tell you. Like, you know what?
come on, nah.
This, listen, it's
I
always very
respect
funny.
Fergie, but yeah, all right.
It's always very funny when I hear this. He never won without Lionel Messi thing, because people will come on here and say that Lionel Messi is not the best player in the world. He's not the. I think Denzel has low-key been a victim of that sometimes. He would say Ronaldo is better. So if Messi isn't the best, then why is he so special for him to not have done it without Messi? So
Interesting.
Firstly, then
But
Zidane,
it's still okay.
Zidane did the three-peat with Ronaldo. But at the end of the day, when he retires, he's going to say, "Oh, I did the three-peat." Nobody cares whether you did it with Ronaldo. Nobody cares whether you can't win trophies.
No, but
you've
been
win trophies without the best players.
You've
That
had
is the best midfield
you've had
in the world.
arguably no, you've had not even arguably, you've had the best team of all time, yeah.
Which he built, though. They weren't considered the best team
And
before
they
he.
achieved
Okay,
real things.
okay. Since leaving that team, you have not won the biggest European trophy, but you've been at one. I'll say Bayern Munich is a big European powerhouse. At Bayern Munich, should you have won the Champions League at Bayern Munich? Let's be real.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah, he should have.
Should have,
Mm.
and he didn't. At Man City, with the amount of dough that he's spent and the
Yeah,
position
they should have won it.
that
They should have won
yeah,
it.
they should have won it this
He
year.
should have. No one's denying that. If he stayed at Barcelona, though, do you reckon that he would have won another Champions League trophy?
Yeah.
You reckon he would have?
Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah, maybe with MSN.
you have nothing against Fergie winning 2 in about 23 plus years or so.
See, I like to joke about Fergie,
Okay,
but I don't want
people-
to rub him out like that. Winning
Nah,
two-
but okay,
No,
okay.
I love-
winning two
I
Champions
respect-
Leagues
I
are a tough
respect-
task.
I respect
Let's
Fergie.
not-
This
yeah.
whole 2 Champions League in 30 years from now, I don't understand. I don't personally.
Yeah, we
The
should
Champions
have
League's a
respect
very
it.
good
Because
achievement.
when
Yeah, it's still very good.
It's a very good
Exactly.
achievement too. Winning.
Okay, so the first time Ferguson won a Champions League trophy, look at the team that he had. It was a good team. The class of '99 was a very, very, very good team. It's
a very
not
good
touching. It's not touching that Barca team at all. His second team, fair enough.
But
We had
Pep built that Barca team though. Some of them players weren't considered what they are now before Pep came in.
That's facts.
Like
that's facts.
especially the midfield. No one had heard of Iniesta before Pep or Xavi. They weren't considered world
Busquets was a kid.
players. They weren't considered world class players before Pep came in.
Eric Vidal.
I just think in this current era, I'm not hearing the goal. Nah.
See,
I'm
this
not
is how I
accepting
do,
that.
yeah? The best
can't just-
manager that I've seen in terms of how you made your team play is Pep. But you can say the greatest of all time in terms of longevity is Sir Alex. Because what you did for 26 years, the level that he put Man United at, you got to respect it. Because United weren't a gigantic team before he came. And the level that he left United at, you could argue they were the best team in the world. So longevity, Sir Alex, in terms of peak, is Pep. Because bro, 2008 to 2012.
Yeah, we can argue
these guys
peak.
were crazy.
Yeah.
These
We
guys
can
were.
argue
Yeah.
peak, but we're looking at their whole careers. Has Pep Guardiola had a greater career than Sir Alex Ferguson?
And you have to bear in mind, Alex
Career's
Ferguson's
not
career
over.
is double as long. It's double as long
Yeah.
as Pep's.
You know what?
So
Nah.
give Pep
Pep has
another
been-
10
Pep
years.
has
I
been-
guarantee
Pep
you
has
win.
been in City. Pep has been
Okay,
in
we'll see.
for about 5 years. So you're telling me that he could, compared to, let's say, Ferguson, how long was Ferguson in United? Let's say 20-something years.
26.
You're telling me if Pep stays in City for 20
Can I quickly
more
say?
years,
Can I quickly say?
he
City
wouldn't
was
win.
Man City when Pep Guardiola came. Man City is still an established English. They were doing well.
That's a good.
When Ferguson came to Man
Yeah, that's
United, we
true.
were not
They were
doing well.
21st. Man
Yeah.
United were 21st.
So you have to bear that in mind as well. People
That's true.
often forget that. But yeah, carry on with your point.
Okay, I guess we could obviously cut down the sample size for when he actually did make United a good side, which would be less. But still, you're telling me that, let's say in 10 years, Pep wouldn't win he definitely win the Champions League with City. I mean, obviously, I can't say for sure, but obviously the signs are there and stuff like that. And he wins the Premier League basically every season. So that's quite ridiculous if you think about it. I mean, now he has about, how many has he won now? He's won 3.
On 4 years.
Yeah.
About 4 to 5 years.
So is okay. Wait, we're using that as a point for Pep. Is won the Premier League basically every season. Is that a point in favor of Pep?
That is a good achievement, is it not?
Against is that in favor of Pep against Sir Alex, or is that?
I'm not against.
Because you can't.
It's not really against. No, it's not really.
Because if I could say the same thing about Sir Alex, he basically won it every other season.
I think one thing that
kind of cheated his way to most of them, but
What did he say?
I said he kind of cheated his way to most of them, but that's for another day.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I didn't hear what you said.
He cheated his way.
Cheated.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
The last thing on Pep before we move on to Chelsea is that you can't dispute his legacy is going to be bigger than Sir Alex because he's going to go further. Like people are going to look up to.
No.
I'm talking about.
Let's be real. Like, Pep's not going to stay there as long as Sir Alex is.
Do you get what
Yeah,
I mean?
he wouldn't.
The future
You mean
managers.
Europe or at Man City?
No, I'm talking about future managers are going to look up to Pep more than they look up to Sir Alex.
I think both. He won't manage for as long,
100%.
and he won't stay at City as long.
I'm sorry. No,
I don't agree with
No.
that.
You know what?
Did you say no one? Josh, did you just say?
With that.
Josh, did you say no one looks up to Sir Alex? Is that what you said?
Name me a top manager that said that Sir Alex is my idol.
What?
No, name them.
Brother, you have to. What you have to remember is a lot of the managers in this game right now, like especially the Premier League managers, were rivals of Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah, he's right.
No one that's a rival of Sir Alex Ferguson is gonna go. Yeah,
I'm talking about the
guy
new
that's
gen.
been
Even
the
look
guy
at
that's been slapping me
Tuchel.
up for the past 20 years. Yeah,
you
he's
know
my
what,
idol. No one's gonna say that.
You know what? Sir Alex Ferguson, his whole story and persona is basically more about like how he took United from not that of a good side and made them one of the most successful sides. That's probably what people look into him in terms of trying to achieve, taking a team who are not doing so well and doing well. But in terms of Pep, people look more in achieving the impossible, like getting to a level where a lot of people don't think is normal, like getting 100 points with City, winning the 6 trophies in a year with Barcelona, the whole tiki-taka thing and that tactically as well as that. I think people respect Pep more in terms of that, and people just see Fergie as more of like
the pure graft, the hard work.
I think with the whole tactics thing, you can give. I think people will look at.
Yeah, that's what I mean from a footballing perspective. He's gonna have a longer legacy.
Tactically, football is more than just tactics.
But I'm talking about from a managing perspective, though. Like,
but managing is not just tactics. Managing includes man management, how you're able to handle your players. There's multiple aspects of management. It's not just purely based on tactics. Because we can look at Pep's management. Pep's fallen out. He's had a lot of issues with like Yaya Toure, you could say.
Eto as well.
Zlatan. There's been a lot. There are a lot of people that I don't like. That don't like Pep. You could say the same thing about Sir Alex Ferguson, but obviously there's a larger bunch of players to pick from. But yeah, you can't just look at tactics. You have to look at man management as well. The relationship between the manager and the player. Like, there's a lot of different aspects to it. You can't just purely base it on tactics and say, "Oh, footballing wise is a better manager."
But I think that's what Josh means, though. Like, I think what Josh is trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think what Josh is trying to say is like, in terms of Pep's tactics, they will influence the game and be more influential to like the newer generation of managers than Sir Alex's were. Because like you can see loads of coaches that try to take things from Pep's game and try and adapt it to their own and credit him with that. Like you can even like for example, Eric Ten Hag, like he's an example where you can see he's taken bits of Pep Guardiola and he's adapted it into his own tactics.
Even Tuchel admitted it.
Yeah.
He's in awe of Pep.
Like how a lot of people like Pep's age talk about Johan Cruyff. A lot of people younger will talk about Pep in that sort of sense, if you get what I mean, where he's a footballing philosophy god in that sense. I'm not trying to disrespect Sir Alex, but no one's going to talk of him like that. They're going to look at him as you're one of the greatest managers and what you achieved was so amazing, but you didn't really leave a blueprint or anything for the youngest to follow, if you get me.
Like even Bielsa. Like Bielsa, he's not won much, but like some of the top managers talk about him. Like Pochettino, Pep, they talk about him and say, yeah, we got it from him. He's the guy that we idolize and see as the top manager. So like I think that's what Pep leaves as a big stamp on the game.
Hey, look at this. We've been talking about Pep for like 20 minutes, man. Let's move on, bruv. Chelsea, innit? Big up Chelsea. Chelsea did their thing. N'Golo Conte. Man were telling me it was finished, bro. Man dropped a clinic again. How many man of the matches was that like? That was like 4 in the knock. Oh, nah.
Yeah, 4 in a row.
Champions
4 in a
League.
row.
Yeah.
Yeah, sensational. Ballon d'Or.
I'm not really.
I don't
agree.
agree.
I'm not really going on the Ballon d'Or.
If he has a good Euro,
Honestly,
if he has a good Euros,
if
yes.
Modric can win the Ballon d'Or, then N'Golo Kante deserves it more.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
If he has a good Euros, definitely he should get a Ballon d'Or.
I feel like a lot of people are really upset about Modric winning that Ballon d'Or. So everyone tries to downplay what he did that year.
Well, if you can win the Ballon d'Or by doing that, then okay, fair enough. Right.
I think Kante should win a Ballon d'Or if he has a good Euros. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think Lewandowski breaking the scoring records, and like let's be honest. At the start of the season, Kante wasn't fantastic. Lewandowski's been very good. Lewandowski played. I think he only played 28 games.
If France win the Euros,
yeah, we'll go to Kante.
He's winning it, but whether he should or not,
I think Mbappe.
Yep. If Mbappe is also influential in their win, then it should obviously go to him. Had a good season.
I think it's dependent on. I think the Ballon d'Or winner is purely not purely, but it's dependent on the Euros. Very, very heavily dependent on the Euros.
Don't forget about Copa America.
Could all as well still be Messi even as well.
Yeah, don't forget about Copa America.
Yeah, Copa America.
Yeah,
so okay, France winning. If France win the Euros and Argentina win Copa America, who do you think?
I definitely think
Messi.
You think Messi gets it if Argentina, regardless of what Kante does for France, you think Messi gets it if Argentina win Copa America?
There's a little bias towards like Messi towards in their words.
Because if N'Golo Kante would have won the Champions League and the Euros in the same year, but you think they'll give it to Messi?
I do think
probably will.
Maybe Kante will probably deserve it more, but I feel like they'll still do it.
He should definitely be a contender. Definitely be a contender.
Taking like 3rd or 2nd.
I feel like Kante will be like, I feel like he'll be like 2nd or something like that.
I think he should win it personally, but we'll see what happens in the Euros.
We'll see Euros and Copa America as well, because Messi could also drop a clinic as well. So.
Yeah,
he hasn't so far, but we'll see what happens.
I mean, he got 30 goals this season.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking about based on the season. I'm talking about in Copa America.
My bad.
Man lost 2 finals in a row. Hey, nah, he should have won something, but we'll see what he does this summer, innit? What's there to talk about Chelsea? I think we've all said the same thing. Good defensively. Yeah, I don't think
more clinical.
Yeah, obviously they're saying Lukaku said he might stay at Inter now, so one thing
the
I
Lukaku
see,
thing, I don't think it's happening.
If we don't get Lukaku, Sancho is probably a possibility.
I still think he's challenged even without any like big signing.
You know what? I don't think you're getting Sancho either. I think it's I just have a feeling we'll get him. I don't
think Chelsea are finishing top 2.
Wow. You don't think they're finished? Can I just quickly say?
City finished top 2.
I think City and Liverpool.
Yeah, possibly. Can I just quickly say, I feel like with Chelsea, they're gonna wait for Haaland. I think they're gonna wait for Haaland, because of he has a release clause next season, right? I think it's like 75 million euros or something like that. So I think they'll wait out for her. Well, they'll try it this season. I don't think Dortmund are gonna sell, but next season I think they'll have all eyes on Haaland. So I don't think signing Sancho makes sense, because of then if you sign Sancho now and then you go for Haaland, then you've signed Werner. It doesn't really.
I don't
But
know
Chelsea
about
sign
Werner.
a striker every season, though. Like every season.
Yeah, but
And
They don't
you got
care.
4. You got Batshuayi's come back as well.
No,
Yeah, but
we're
Giroud's
selling
going.
him. We're selling him.
And
We're selling Batshuayi,
Giroud.
Tammy, and Giroud. Armando
going.
Broja, a young he's gonna probably come into the squad next season.
And you got Ruben Loftus-Cheek coming back, Ross, but you got a huge team, man.
yeah, you have too many. There's a lot of players that you have to offload before you start looking at players like Sancho. And I heard somewhere as well, I think it was Christian Falk. I'm not sure. I think it was Christian Falk. He said that apparently Chelsea are looking at Salah. And then if Salah goes Chelsea, then Liverpool will look at Sancho. He said that's like the way the whole Sancho race thing will work. But
I don't see that happening.
Salah to Chelsea, I don't really see that happening.
I think
I don't
Salah
see Salah
contract.
That'll be
has
he?
I think so. I don't think it's confirmed, but I think that's on the cards.
It all
I think he
depends.
wants a new
interesting.
contract.
It'll be
I think he just
interesting.
wants a new contract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I think.
I think Lukaku's not over, but it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah, true.
He does have some history with Chelsea in it, so that will work for Chelsea's favour. But it's one of them ones where if they sell Hakimi, which apparently they will for quite a lot, very good sign for PSG, then the need to sell Lukaku is decreased. So
yeah,
Chelsea are in a bit of a, I don't know, because it happens all the time with transfers. 1 minute is on, next minute is off. So
I think
they always send mixed signals.
What about
needs to
Harry Kane?
raise like 80 mil.
I can't see Harry Kane going to
Harry
Chelsea.
Kane's not going.
Yeah, I can't see that as well, to be fair.
Even Harry Kane, if they get Conte, there's a chance he might stay, because
That's what I think.
I think he will stay. But
That's what I think.
He shouldn't stay. I feel like he's given enough to Tottenham. Tottenham are really. I don't like the way they've handled the Kane situation. Just let the guy go. He's done a lot for your club.
You guys think Conte wins the league with Spurs?
Wins the league?
No way.
Wait. We'll get onto that. We'll only talk about the managers. I actually think Spurs are moving with ambition. I can't lie.
Wait, you're saying Kane? I think with the Kane thing, he's one of the best strikers in the world. You're gonna try and get as much money as you can. So like, if you want to get like 100 M's, so I get it. Innit?
What about
they're moving like they're not gonna sell him at all.
What
about him?
What to Chelsea?
Yeah, I've had people like try and link him with Chelsea.
Again, I wouldn't be surprised with contracts. A lot of these guys are after contracts, bro. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I hear it.
Very good sign. What a sign.
But yeah, let's go on to international football now with England.
We're going to talk about Nigeria.
We'll do it afterwards.
We're going to talk about the managers.
To talk about, I think we'll get England out of the way.
Do England first. Let's do England first.
Let's do England first. I didn't watch the game yesterday, so I'm gonna leave it to you guys. Yeah. So Sarah,
I didn't watch it.
No one watched it.
No,
I watched a little bit. I watched like 5 minutes.
I didn't watch
And
it.
then tell me what you thought about the game yesterday, and then tell me about the squad selection.
So England started. It was a weird kind of formation because he had Trippier at left back, he had Saka on the left wing. I think he had Lingard. Grealish kind of was in the free room, and Lingard was more on the right with Kane up top. But Kane was dropping very deep. And in the first half, England kind of struggled because he was dropping deep and no one was making them runs into the box. So there was no one that was getting onto the crosses and the balls that were being put into the box. So England kind of struggled. The first half was really, really poor. Like, honestly, it was dreadful. And I think second half, England definitely improved. Obviously, Saka got the goal. Kane was looking good. Obviously, a couple subs were made. But I have to say, Mings and Cody looked very, very, very...
Those two were starting.
Yeah, they looked...
They looked what?
They're the backup two centre-backs.
They looked very average. Average. They didn't look impressive at all. Like, they got some... Ben Godfrey came on, and, I mean, there's not really much to talk about with him because he's not going. Lingard, I think Lingard actually played well, and I think he probably, because Trent's injured, he'll probably be the one that replaces Trent, which I like. I think that's a good player to bring because, number one, he has international experience. He's been to tournaments before, scored for England before, been in that setup. Number two, he's coming off a good season. He's had 7 or 8 goals for West Ham, which, I mean, you always need goals. And I think he offers something different to the other attacking midfielders we have. But one player I was very impressed with was Bellingham. I thought Bellingham was very, very good. I thought he looked very composed, and defensively, he actually looked solid. So I like Bellingham's chances of playing more minutes than we think in the Euros, because I don't know how fit Jordan Henderson is, but I wouldn't be mad at all if Bellingham came in and played a big chunk of minutes.
What's our general thoughts on the squad? To be honest,
no, like the Bellingham thing, that's good.
Yeah.
Because it definitely eases some pressure off Calvin Phillips and Rice. So,
Yep.
But in regards to if Trent's injured,
Bellingham's not. Is he a CDM?
He's a box-to-box midfielder.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a
not a
box-to-box
CDM
midfielder.
though, so he's not playing.
Defensively,
he doesn't play the same
solid.
role as.
but he
And
can
then a
play in the
double
double
pivot.
pivot.
he doesn't
Defensively,
need.
he's
No,
solid,
I'm not saying
but,
play
like,
the same role.
in
Just
case
help
Rice,
out.
like, in case Rice pushes forward, he could always.
Okay.
Yeah. Like if Trent isn't going to go now, then I think Jesse Lingard or another central midfielder is needed.
Lingard or Ward-Prowse will probably go, I'd say.
Yeah, Ward-Prowse.
He's probably going to be
but
Lingard or Wood-Prowse.
Cody and Mings, I'm concerned. If Maguire and Stones aren't starting, we are in trouble. And if they get injured, we're in trouble, I feel like.
Yeah, you would get quite ripped apart because Mings, and that's probably the worst. I don't even understand.
Cody plays in the back three. He's played in the back four this season, which has done horrendously for Wolves.
Yeah.
Mings is a left-footed centre-back he's so rash at times.
Yeah.
Mings is not even the best English centre-back at his own club.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
Let's talk about Southgate, please.
Yeah, what's your thoughts on him?
He just Mr. Versatility merchant, like gets on my nerves so much. Like when they asked him, why'd you take 4 centre backs? Oh, this centre back can play in centre midfield. Not centre back, right back. Yeah. This right back can play in centre midfield. This right back can play right wing. This one can play left wing. This one can play up front. Pick a right back because they're good at playing right back. Why are you picking right backs to be playing in different positions in the
he bottled it. He bottled it. It's because he didn't want to make the decision to leave one home. He was going to leave Trent home, and then the media and the fans got onto him. So he was like, hey, do you know what? Let me bring them all. And I think that was the excuse he made because he bottled it essentially.
I don't want us to do bad in the tournament, but I wouldn't be upset if we did because of it. Me and Southgate goes because I honestly think he's such a terrible manager. Like I actually can't understand some of the selections that he makes, and I feel like we all got sold a dream in the World Cup. We actually thought that he was a decent manager. He's whack.
The World Cup. Can I say one thing about the right backs though? Can I say one thing about the right backs? I actually don't have a problem with him taking 4 right backs, mainly because I don't think the alternatives that we're missing are levels like that. If Mason Greenwood was on form for the whole season and you still took 4 right backs, I'll say, come on, man, you can move one of them. But you're saying we should leave, let's say, Trent or Trippier home to bring in James Ward-Prowse.
Oh, we're weak in that position.
Yeah, that's the thing, Josh.
And that's the problem.
No centre mids, really.
We have no centre mids or DMs.
Can we deep? This guy is playing. I know because of.
And he brought in Ben White, as if Ben White was going to play DM.
I don't know why he brought in Ben White.
On paper, though, he's essentially taking no right backs, though, because if he uses a 3 at the back, then no one is really right back. So
I think that's why there's not that many midfielders, because he's going 5-2 in midfield.
That's what I'm guessing as well. Because
which I'm hoping that would be a crime.
Trippier would be right wing back. Trent would be right wing back. Walker would be right centre back.
We're gonna have no attacking midfielder. Think about all the players that can sit on the bench.
Reece James will also be probably right centre back as well. So
what confuses me though, like this guy, I know Luke Shaw and Ben Chilwell were obviously unavailable because they played in the Europa and Champions League finals. But this guy's playing right backs. He's playing Trippier at left back. He's taken 4 right backs and he's taken 2 left backs. Like, where's the balance?
See, this is where I sometimes see inconsistency because we were praising Pep for playing Cancelo as a left back, and now we're going on to Southgate.
Yeah, but wait.
Trippier.
So we're comparing Cancelo.
I'm not comparing Pep to Southgate, but I'm saying a lot of managers do these. They like flexibilities in their players that they can play in multiple positions.
But
that's just how
this is international football.
It's not
those players.
They like flexibilities in their players. They like players that can play in multiple positions in case to safeguard it for injuries. That's how managers are.
Yeah, but Josh, you have to take that with context though. Southgate and Pep.
No, we know that. I'm not trying to compare them in it, but I'm saying teams. A lot of
and he only has
he
has 1 or 2 weeks to try and make Trippier into a left back. I just don't think that works, man.
Like Trent's not played a minute of international, a minute of senior football in midfield, and he's claiming that he brought him in because he can play in midfield.
It's
like,
ridiculous.
Come on, it's an excuse. It's an excuse because
it's ridiculous.
He bottled it. He didn't want to leave one of them home, and like he was going to leave. As I said, he was going to leave Trent home, and he saw the uproar, and he bottled it and brought him.
We talk about the strike situation as well.
No one cares about Greenwood not making it.
I actually wasn't going to talk about Greenwood. I was going to talk about Ollie Watkins getting left out because I don't think that.
He's not that good.
Wait, so he
wasn't going to play a minute. Let's be honest.
We have Harry Kane. We have Calvert-Lewin. And then who else did he take out? Striker.
There's no other striker.
That's it.
No other striker unless he plays Rashford.
You have 2 strikers.
Yeah.
You've taken 2 strikers.
I'm not going to play him though.
I don't think that's a big deal because
you don't think only taking only 2 strikers. I think if Kane gets injured, DCL is our striker.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's not fine.
But then it's
that's not fine. You only taken 2.
Wait, one at a time. Denzel, yeah.
Okay, say your 2 strikers gets injured, and it's possible. It's international football. We've had a very long season. We've had the pandemic. We've had a lot of games being bunched up. Yeah, you've taken 2 strikers to an international tournament. Say if those 2 strikers get injured, what are you doing now?
Rashford, I guess.
A struggling Rashford who's been battling with injuries, playing in the center of the attack.
I feel I was literally going to say that. I feel he should have taken 3 strikers. I don't know why.
He should have taken 3 strikers. Like the 2 strikers.
But then which one of those wingers do you leave out? Which one of those wingers / attacking midfielders do you leave out?
Don't even have to be a winger or an attacking midfielder.
Or a right back. Sorry, actually should have.
The guy took 4 right backs.
Yeah, sorry.
Could have left out Saka for another striker.
Yeah, Saka. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Saka, and then
Saka's
maybe a right back.
I
think Saka was the most controversial inclusion. Like I think, especially Man United fans were so mad that he got it. I don't know why.
I wasn't mad, but they're playing certain players.
I don't think either of them should have gone.
I think Lingard should have gone ahead of Saka, personally.
I agreed.
I find that mad. Saka's been good all season.
Right? Yeah, but just based on position.
But Saka,
hey, wait, what?
Yeah.
That works against him.
Wait, what did you say, Sarah?
Like his flexibility works against him because.
Did you say he's not good in one position?
Right wing, yeah, he's good, but he's not played there all season, has he?
Yeah, I mean, he's played there for more than half the season.
Played there for basically most of the season. You know what? I feel now Saka's really a victim of the fact that he was played at left back because
he's a victim of Arsenal. If he didn't play for Arsenal, he'd be loved by everyone.
Because at the end of the day,
I like Saka more than I like Greenwood.
He's a winger. It's established. He's not a left back. He's not a left wing back. He's a winger, and I think everyone just needs to know that. He is a winger because everyone is always trying to say, "Oh, it's because he could play left back. He's not going to play left back for England."
But then he's not going to play on the wing for England, is he?
But exactly.
Not everyone is going to play.
Knowing Gareth Southgate and his whole versatility thing, that's probably one of the reasons why he got into the squad. So, Sarah, you saying that the flexibility works against him, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think the flexibility is probably one of the reasons why he got in. Because of Southgate and his whole versatility nonsense, he loves it. So yeah, that's probably the reason why Saka even got in the squad.
I just think we didn't have a centre mid.
For me, I can hear that in it, but I just don't think the alternatives that people are bringing up, apart from Lingard, are that good. Like I don't. Yeah. There's not a player that you're thinking, oh, we should have taken him. No one, bruv. There's no one really. It's just you could have taken him. The centre backs, I agree. Mings and Cody, come on, man. But the rest of the positions...
You could have taken Konsa, you could have taken...
but that's a case of replacing players already,
but in terms
Mings
of
and Cody.
In terms of the attacking midfield and stuff like that, I don't think Greenwood deserves to go. So really, no one
Greenwood was injured anyway. I feel like if Greenwood wasn't injured, he probably would have got into the team.
Still, he wasn't injured. I don't think he still deserved to go.
Yeah.
but
he
he would
shouldn't
have
go.
gotten into the team. I think he was on form. He was doing well. I feel like personally he deserved.
You know, I
it.
think
Anyway,
I think
maybe I'm biased.
I think Greenwood probably would have gone because I think Southgate wanted to do that like young player that he brought in, but I think got injured.
Young
So man was
player.
like,
Isn't
yeah,
that,
let
isn't
me
that
bring in
Foden,
Saka.
doesn't Foden already count as that?
But
But
Bellingham was that guy.
Foden's a
Even
superstar.
Bellingham was that guy. To
I
be
think
fair.
Bellham's the
And
guy.
Bellingham
innit?
is also that guy as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true. I guess that's true.
I do think he should have taken a third striker though. I'm not really
So
the
then
biggest
they-
fan of. I'm not really the
Yeah,
biggest
he
fan
should
of
have.
DCL, but I know DCL is quite good in the air, so I guess that could be something that could, because international football, 9 minutes, you probably try and get someone to try and head the ball in or something like that. So
Especially Trent.
exactly. So with maybe
Hmm.
Trent crossing, having
Trent's not
DCL
gonna be there
at the
though.
end
So
having
see.
DCL at the end of crosses is quite good. So I get why he took DCL. I do think that he should have taken another striker though. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Watkins, Ings as well, I don't know.
Why did he
Ings,
not take Ings? I
I
don't
don't know.
understand that.
I
Ings
think
is the
Ings,
most different
Ings
out
get
of all
really
of them.
robbed
So
out.
maybe
No?
he would have been a good option.
Wouldn't you say Ings is kind of similar to Kane in a sense?
Yeah, he
Kind
is,
of.
but he's had
You-
obviously he's not picking Greenwood because Greenwood's injured. The next, I think he should have picked Ings. Like, why are you not picking Ings?
I think Watkins offers something different to the other two strikers though.
Not
yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah, that's fair.
He's
He has
no,
more
I
pace
think he's
than
in a
them.
similar mode to DCL. Even though I
Watkins,
like Watkins
I
as
think
well.
Watkins is definitely more of a complete
He's a
striker.
workhorse because he played on the left wing before, didn't he?
Yeah, I think
he's
Watkins
quite-
Yeah,
makes more runs
wait,
in
wasn't
behind.
wasn't he even like a cam when he was
Yeah,
at
at Brentford, he
Yeah,
played
and
on
then
the
he got
wing at
molded into.
times.
He's more
Nah,
of
he was.
like
I think he was a cam or something like that,
Mm.
and then he got molded
he's
into.
clearly like better on the ball than DCL and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But-
he's a more complete striker, definitely.
Yeah, for
Mm.
sure. To be honest, I don't really mind him going with DCL. I get why he would go with DCL, but
Yeah.
I think he should have gone with an extra striker. Yeah, but yeah, I guess we'll see. It would be quite funny if both strikers get injured, though. That would be something.
Yeah, then Gareth Southgate can play one of his right backs up front. Yeah, do that.
He starts on the wings.
I think
This one is tricky for most people.
This
For
is
me,
the hardest decision in my
this is probably
opinion.
the hardest one.
you know. I think based on the ending of the season, I don't think Rashford should be starting.
Nope.
I don't think he should have gone.
He's not healthy.
They
You don't think he should have gone?
Allow that.
I don't think he should have gone. The guy's
Hey,
Josh,
come on, Josh.
Don't be
Josh,
silly. Josh,
No, I'm
In
not
a
basing
team
it.
that has
I'm not
no
basing it on quality.
experience.
I agree with Josh.
I'm not basing
You
it on
think he's-
quality.
he's
think
injured?
he shouldn't have gone.
Yeah,
You think he's
Oh my
injured?
God.
yeah. I think he should look after his body and
Yep.
stay at home.
Yep. He's burned out. He's badly burned out. Like I don't know why he's going to European competition, the Euros. Personally, he could have just sat it down himself and said, "I'm not able to."
And man's like the next international competitions next year, innit? It's not like he's waiting 2 more
It's
years.
not like he's going to have to wait
It's
too
not
long.
that deep,
Yeah.
man. I don't think he should have gone. in
Take a
honesty.
rest, have a good preseason, then try and have the best season he can, so that he'll be starter for the World Cup or what. But I don't know.
Yeah,
he
maybe
probably
for
would've
those
started
reasons.
Darwin.
I don't think he's starting the opening game anyway. To be fair, because he's not fully fit.
He'll
We know
start that
that.
many games.
I think it'll probably be Sterling Sancho.
That's my bet as well.
I like Grealish though. I like Grealish.
A lot of people say that, but to me, it just has to be Sterling, especially with the way Kane plays, like the dynamics of it.
You need to
Yeah,
run
and their
in
relationships
behind. You can't
improved
have
over the last couple of
You
years.
can't have two guys that are ball dominant.
That's
you
what I'm
need one
saying.
guy
You
to
can't-
make
you
the
can't-
ball.
That's why I don't get why people like also I think City fans were trying to get Grealish and Kane, and I don't really like the dynamics of that because everybody knows how Kane plays and stuff like that. So with Grealish, it just wouldn't really work. You need someone like Son, and Son and Sterling are quite similar. They like to run quick, and it would work brilliantly with Kane and Sterling. So yeah, even before they already were like combined well before a bit and stuff like that. But yeah, so then Sancho or Foden for me, to be fair. I obviously prefer Sancho, but
I think Sancho gives you a bit of both.
well, I kind of like
I don't know.
left.
Well, if we play 4-2-3-1, then Grealish can play as well. Like
True.
Wait, can he? Because he's not. I wouldn't play him as a 10. Just let him do.
Oh,
what
he
he
was
wants to
He
do.
played as a 10 last night.
yeah, he can play
He
as
played
a
as
10.
I don't
He
think
can play as a 10.
though. I don't like
can
him
play as a 10.
I don't like him as a 10. He obviously, like when he plays as a 10, he clearly leaves gaps in the midfield. He's not like a traditional 10 and stuff like that. So he always drifts wide. He's a ball.
He's a free
carrier
roam man.
like that.
But he
He's a free roam
he
man.
gets fouled a hell of a lot though. Like that's the one thing yesterday. He was fouled like 10 or 15 times.
Well, that's a good
I
and
feel
a
like
bad thing,
that
I
will come in
suppose,
handy.
but-
No, that will come in handy in the Euros.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
That'll come in handy in the
Even
Euros.
last
kind
World
of good. It'd be kind of good if we had Ward Prowse though, because
Yeah.
I mean, Trippier is a set piece specialist, and you got Trent as
Trippier
well.
and Trent
So
are quite good as well. So.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not that deep. And even Shaw was actually quite good at delivering. Even Shaw as well. So
Yeah.
you
They both
got
are,
quite a
yeah.
lot of good guys that are good at set pieces. So Ward-Prowse not going. You could probably say he's the best, but I don't think the reduction in quality is that much. So
Yeah, but you can't bring him just because he can whip in
Just
free
'cause of
kicks. He has to
set
offer
pieces,
more
yeah,
than
he
that.
has to offer
So
more. To be fair, he's a good midfielder, but I don't really see why there's an outrage.
yeah, I'm not upset that he didn't get picked. I think Lingard. People should be more upset about Lingard not getting picked than Ward-Prowse.
yeah, maybe because Lingard does offer something a bit different.
Yeah, he does. But we're so stacked in that position. But he's a different type of attacking midfielder.
Yeah, I mean, I probably think Lingard should probably have gone. Maybe one of the right backs should have been dropped. Maybe Trent. But I wouldn't have dropped Trent, so I don't know. If I was to drop one of the right backs, I'd probably drop Rhys James or Walker, and that's probably an unpopular opinion. But yeah, to me, Trippier.
A lot of people said they dropped Trippier. A lot of people said they dropped Trippier.
I think that's just the Prem bias because not many people.
Yeah,
watch
Prem
it.
bias.
Exactly.
For me, yeah, to me, Loki could even been Walker. And
that's the opposite. Everyone's saying that Walker's a nailed on starter.
Yeah, everyone
said his stuff. But he took Walker because of Walker's experience, and he's played in the centre back position, so he can play free at the back with Walker.
Yeah. This team has no experience, man. It's so poor.
What international experience?
Like barely. Like
I mean, there's
I
still
disagree.
Henderson, Walker, Kane, Sterling.
Maguire,
Stones.
Yeah, you think Maguire's only been playing international football for like 2 years now.
But he was at the World Cup.
But a lot of people, everyone who's played at the World Cup and got to a World Cup
Rashford has more
has
international experience than Maguire. Maguire's like 5 years older.
But not long.
There's
not.
There's not. Honestly, there's not.
If you got to a World Cup semi-final, that counts as experience for me.
Yeah, 100. I agree.
So I think the squad is balanced when it comes to experience and.
But okay, so 5 or 6 of those players got to a World Cup semi-final, and the rest are just not there.
5 or 6 of those players.
There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do about that. But I'm just saying, like, I just don't think we're going to do well. That's why I don't think we'll do well, because you can have one really high tournament.
Wait, you think the reason why we're not going to do well is because of the experience, or because we have a crap manager?
That's part of the reason, and also tactically as well.
I don't think experience plays that much of a huge part.
Yeah,
really? I think
experience is key.
In international tournaments, experience is.
The know-how is important.
Germany literally brought back Muller and Hummels because of what Joachim Low was doing, because he was messing around with all these young players and they weren't.
But they had an experience.
Look how fresh France's squad was,
and they went out in the group stages. They had an experienced team and they went out in the group stages.
Exactly. Look at France's squad.
As well. Spain.
A lot of them.
Spain as well. Like, I know
a lot of France's squad haven't played in a World Cup before, and they won it. So the whole experience thing is kind of.
But they played in the Euros before that, so.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of them. There are a lot of fresh faces, to be fair, like Mbappe, like that. I mean, if you're good, you're good. Whether you played in.
Exactly,
man.
Yeah, at the end of the day, because actually, yeah, I kind of see an upset for England. I mean. But at the end of the day, they could also surprise and go far in the competition. But that's the thing with international football. You can never really tell. It's just one of games. Anybody can do anything. So it's not really. But who are you guys backing to win it?
France.
I think France. Yeah.
France. I don't think there's clear favourites in my opinion. I don't think there's a clear favourite.
Who do you think's making out of that group? France, Germany,
they
Portugal.
Can all make it. That's
It'll be France and Portugal.
Oh,
yeah, France and Portugal.
They
can all make
it.
They can all make it. Oh
yeah, the third place. The third place.
I forgot.
That's how you know that it's all about money. They're just trying to keep the big nations in.
Big names, yeah, it's quite obvious. Yeah,
stupid, bro.
It's obvious they're all going to come out.
So what's the point?
Do you think England will top the group?
No.
No. We do terrible in group stages. So no.
Man, that Croatian midfield is gonna roast us.
Yeah.
Croatia,
Brozovic, Kovacic,
no, they're
Modric.
a bit inconsistent, so I wouldn't really put it up.
Yeah, Croatia
But
haven't
moving
been
on.
consistent.
I
Yeah.
can see Scotland doing the passion merchant thing and just
I was
beating us
lit-
with sheer
I was
willpower.
literally about to say that. I can see Scotland
Oh,
beating
Yeah.
Robertson and Tierney.
Yeah,
I can see it
definitely.
now. Oh,
Definitely.
Robertson, Tierney, McGinn, McTominay doing the old passion merchant.
Yeah, man.
Hey,
McSauce bossing that midfield. Showing Declan Rice who's boss.
Before we end off, let's quickly talk about the manager merry-go-round that's going on right now.
this
So,
could take some time.
Wow.
So they're
Quite
talking
a
about
lot.
Conte to Spurs, innit? Let's start with that one. Denzel, what's your thoughts on that? Conte to Spurs.
I think it's a good appointment. Very good appointment for Tottenham Hotspurs. And isn't there a deal to get the ex-Juve chairman in as well? So they've done a little package deal, which looks quite good for them. I don't think he's winning a Premier League at Tottenham, but I think he might get a trophy at Tottenham. We'll see what happens. Maybe he'll enable Kane to stay, but I think he should leave anyway, personally. But yeah, it's a very good appointment for Tottenham.
Dan, what's your thoughts on it?
Hey, I'll be honest. Like, none of us here like Tottenham. Obviously, Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, and Man United fans, we don't like Tottenham, but we have to give them credit. They have shown more ambition than both Arsenal and Man United, both of us, because Conte is a top manager. The DOF that they're bringing in was at a top club. They're looking to, from what Fabrizio Romano is saying, they're looking to get a long-term deal with obviously big targets in. So, hey, Spurs are looking to go to the top, and I think it's just poor from, like, I think more especially Man United, really, because I think this is the perfect appointment for them. I think Antonio Conte could come in at Man United and push an already good squad to the point where they want to be, and I think they've just missed it with letting him go. Like, it's with
I
Oli.
disagree, but yeah.
You don't think?
I think okay. We'll get into this.
Yeah.
I think obviously no one's disputing Conte is a way better manager than Ole, but it's just the fact that you're sacking Ole when he doesn't really warrant a sacking. That's the issue that I have with it. Like, if you guys sacked Arteta and then appointed a Conte, fair enough, because you could say maybe your season's been underwhelming, but. Well, our season's been underwhelming as well, but finishing second in the league and then getting sacked, I don't think that's fair.
Do you think Ole will win the league next season if you invest this summer?
If we get all the targets that we need to get?
What's all the targets?
So say if we get a good CDM, get a good right winger, we get a good centre back, and those signings work well, then he can. I think it will be a lot closer than it was this. If he can get what he needs, then it'll be a lot closer than it was. Because we have to bear in mind, we had a terrible start. And we weren't, okay, how many points were we off City? Does anyone know? Because towards the end, we fell off.
13, 14, something like that.
Yeah, in the last 4-5 games, we completely capitulated, completely fell off. But when I look at throughout the course of the season, we're sniffing about, if we get 3 top players in those positions, I think that he can challenge. Yeah.
According to Ole, though, if you're not finishing first next season, that's not progress. So if he doesn't win the league next season, he has basically said himself that he has failed. So
that's the truth.
But Denzel, do you not think Conte significantly increases the possibility you win the league, whether you sign anyone or not?
I don't think, regardless.
Yeah, that's my thing. That's my thing. My thing is whether you bring in 3 or 4
Darmian, like. So,
but with Conte will still need to bring in players though, and they will still need to work.
Yeah, he'll still need to. Conte can't take this current squad to win the league. Like, and I don't know with the board and all that. It's not. It's more of a board thing than a manager thing per se, because if Conte can come in and not get backed, and then he's not doing anything at United. Same thing if Ole doesn't get backed. Exactly. So Conte is not going to be a long-term thing, because there's no way Conte staying underneath the Glazers for more than 3 years. It's not happening. So I think to just completely rub out Ole, chuck him out for 3 years of Conte, in where we might win a league title, possibly. It's not even guaranteed. sacking Ole when he's finished second, I don't think that's fair on him.
But I'll be real though.
Yeah.
I'll be real. Looking from the outside in, I'm not even trying to get onto Man United or nothing. But seeing you guys allow Ole to go 3 years without a trophy, and I'll be honest, I don't think he's going to win the league. I don't think he can. I don't think Ole can find the consistency to win the league. So to see him be allowed another year, despite losing not winning another trophy, and not really doing that much with the squad.
You're saying allowed like he didn't.
I don't see any ambition from Man United, because I can't see Ole winning the league. So like the fact that he's been allowed to stay despite him not being able to win the league, in my opinion.
We could say this about so many different managers. Like we can say this about a lot of managers in the league.
Like who?
Okay, look. Okay, we'll rub out. Obviously, City have manager that's won the league.
Mm-hmm.
Liverpool have had a manager that's won the league. Tuchel, Chelsea, they're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Some would argue Conte is better than Tuchel,
Exactly.
but Conte's been there and done that. He's been there and done that.
So it's only Arsenal, Man United. That's my point. We're the only ones showing no ambition.
Okay. Say if Mourinho was still at Tottenham and he had a decent season at Tottenham, say he finished second at Tottenham, would you say that Tottenham should sack Mourinho and get Conte?
Mourinho is different to Ole.
Mourinho did worse than Ole in that. Okay, I'm not. In fact, yeah, that's kind of a flawed argument. Would you sack Arteta to get Conte?
Right now?
Yes,
100%. Million percent.
Yeah. So why are you not focused on that then?
Ari. I saw you. Why are you not
under like this? Okay,
Would I?
Let me finish my point. The reason why let me finish my point, please.
Wait,
the reason why I brought that up is because everyone's going, oh yeah, Ole, Man United should sack Ole and get Conte. Man United. Arteta's right there.
But bro,
we have a manager that literally hasn't warranted keeping his job. Yeah, you want to sack the guy who's finished second.
But bro, the difference is,
I don't get it.
The difference is we don't know if Conte will come to Arsenal. We know he's coming to Man United.
If Conte will go to Spurs, Conte will go to Arsenal.
Though?
If Conte could go to Tottenham Hotspurs,
but we at the time we didn't.
Spurs are 7.
At the time we did. At the time,
come on, no. This is what.
Wait. Let me
land. That argument is flawed. Arsenal way bigger than Spurs.
Let me land. Before 2 days ago, everyone was saying, nah, there's no way Conte goes to Spurs. No way he goes to Spurs. No way. So if Arsenal are like, they haven't sacked Arteta because for some reason the board back him. But if you ask every Arsenal fan, we would have sacked him anyway to get Conte. But my thinking is like, a lot of people didn't think he would come. Like I reckon even Spurs fans didn't think Conte would come.
Yeah, I didn't think he would go either.
So that's why people aren't discussing, Arsenal should have got Conte. That's why people are discussing United should have got Conte.
But personally, what I'm not understanding is, you're not far off Spurs. You finished one position below them. Why aren't you looking at Arteta and saying we should sack Arteta and we should get Conte? Why is everyone looking at Ole and saying you should sack Ole, who finished second, and get Conte? We should be looking at Arsenal. I'm saying we should direct the attention towards Arsenal. Because if Tottenham can get Conte, then your board should be patterning up and getting Conte.
No, bro, I'm 100% agreeing with you. I'm in the same boat. The fans are in the same boat. Like, most Arsenal fans would prefer Conte over Arteta. I know there's a few that obviously want to stick with Arteta, and I get that, innit? But the majority of the fans would want Conte. But like, it's not the fans making the decisions, innit? It's the board. So, like, if you gave it to the fans, we would have appointed Conte.
And I just quickly say, it's laid on a plate for the board, though. The fans don't like. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's 50,
but you don't do business based on what people say. You do.
This is okay. I'm gonna land. Okay. So you've got a scenario where your fan base doesn't necessarily support your manager, and you have a world-class manager. Your North London rivals are in talks with that manager. Why are you not in talks with that manager? It's set up perfectly for you to go in for Conte. At least, maybe you might not get him. At least get into talks with him or something. At least try something. You know what I mean? Like, the scenario is laid out perfectly for Arsenal. With Man United, it's a bit more techie because of you sacking a manager that's just finished second. People, like, the board, it looks a bit sus. I can't lie.
In my opinion, I don't think it does.
It's a lot easier for Arsenal. It's a lot easier for the Arsenal board to make the decision.
It is, but like, I think we're deflecting. Like, I'm asking you right now, would you take Conte over Ole?
Of course I would.
But then, as Man United Football Club,
But he's a better manager, but I just don't think it's fair for you to sack someone who's finished second.
Let me land. You guys are like, you guys say that you're the biggest club in England, innit? The biggest club in England,
Second
arguably one of the
biggest.
top 3 biggest clubs in the world. So if you're the biggest club in England and you want to be competing for the title, you want to be the best team in England, why are you settling for not the best managers?
Well, okay, let me answer that question, because we've seen this scenario before. We've seen a scenario where we cut off a manager who won the FA Cup and finished, I don't know if it was 4th or 5th. He won the FA Cup and finished, I think it was 4th or 5th in Louis van Gaal, and then to get a Jose Mourinho, that did not turn out well. And then you sack another manager to get this manager, it doesn't turn out well. You do this to do this, and then you get another manager, it doesn't turn out well. It gets to a point where you have to look at the stabling issues, like
stability.
It gets to a point where you have to look at the issue, the issue that stayed there, despite the amount of managers that have moved on and passed. You have to look at the main issue, which is the board and the owners. Because if we can appoint and sack and appoint and sack and appoint and sack, it's not going to change if the owners aren't invested in the club. It's not going to change if the board are making crap signings and not doing their recruitment properly. So it's basic. If we sack Ole and get Conte, it's the same thing we've been doing for the past 7+ years.
Chalice, basically, you're saying.
Exactly. It's the same thing that we've been doing. With Arsenal, I think the situation is a little bit different. You have an excuse to sack your manager.
Why is it a little bit different for us?
Because if your manager,
our owners don't invest as well, so why is it different for us?
Because it's easy. Okay, I wouldn't say it's different. I'd say it's an easier decision to make, because if you haven't been, you've had Wenger's been sacked. You've had Emery and Arteta, so you've had 2 managers. We've been doing this for the past almost 10 years. We've been through this cycle. You guys you haven't been doing it for the past 10 years. So maybe sacking Arteta and getting a Conte, it makes more sense for you guys. But we've been there, we've done that, and it didn't work out. So that's what I'm saying.
But I think you're trying to compare Conte to Mourinho, but I don't think they're the same. I think Conte's just come off a season where he's won the title. I think Mourinho wasn't at that level at all when he went to Man United. I don't think he was a top manager anymore. I think Conte's still there. I think Conte's won countless titles, and he's still in his prime as a manager. So I think he's still capable of dragging United over the line. Like even a Mourinho, who in my opinion wasn't at the top level, got United very far up the table. He got you second with a squad that is far worse than you have now.
I can't lie, but when Mourinho was there, they were expecting a title challenge, and
but their squad wasn't deserving of a title challenge.
Shouldn't only been a title challenge then.
What,
with the squad he has now?
Yeah, he should be.
You think?
The amount spent on that squad.
You think? 100%. Okay.
He bought a centre back for 80 mil. He bought a full back for 50 mil. He got an attacking midfielder for 50 mil plus.
And Van der Beek as well.
And Van der Beek for 40 mil.
Ahmad for
he bought a left back for, how much did he buy Tellers again?
20.
Yeah,
20.
roughly 20
So
mil.
you think that Man United squad should be challenging? Wait, by challenging we mean like finishing 2 points behind City. That's when
Liverpool did a couple of years ago.
We need to define what challenging
means.
They're
not that good.
Finishing second does not count as challenging anymore, because we've seen Mourinho finish second, we've seen Ole finish second this season. We didn't challenge for the title. Finishing second means you're finishing 2 points behind City. You think that Man United squad?
I don't think
2 points behind City.
I don't think 2 points. I think you can finish. I'd say for me, challenging is 5 points. If you finish 5 points behind them, I hear that. And 13 points is far, man. That's a long way.
I don't know. I think he probably did just about right, really, this season.
Exactly. I think. But no,
I don't expect any more from Ole. I don't expect any more.
But my thing is like with Man United, I feel like, and I don't want to be harsh or act like I'm going onto them or getting onto them, but I feel like the fact that they came second is more to do with the fact that everyone was so poor.
They were the best of a bad bunch.
Yeah, like Liverpool had a shocking season. They had a shocking season, and Man United finished 5 points above them. Like Liverpool lost like 5 or 6 games in a row at Anfield at one point, and Man United finished 5 points above them. Like, in my opinion, next year,
Really? Yeah.
I think, and the reason why I think Conte is better for Man United over Ole is because I think Ole next year drops out. I think next year he either finishes 4th or 5th,
Yeah.
depending on how Spurs do with Conte. Because I see Tuchel's Chelsea, Klopp's Liverpool, and Pep City all finishing above Oli next year.
Said this 2 seasons in a row. He's been the best of a bad bunch. If everyone else is whack, that's not his fault. That's not his. Exactly. That's not his. If everyone else is whack, that's not his.
But when everyone else is
You know
whack,
what,
you
Denzel,
still can't win.
You can't guarantee that with good and proper targets this summer that Ole can't win you the league. Then that's shocking because that's basically a brand new 11 from when he came. So he has gotten 11 brand new players, and you're telling me that you're still not confident that he can definitely 100% win the league. Then I feel like that's quite shocking, to be fair.
How is that shocking? Because it could be like that with any manager. The league's not. You can't say 100% with anything that they're gonna win the league.
Like basically a brand new XI.
How
you're telling me that you're not
wait,
confident? Are you confident that if he gets like 4 targets this summer?
I don't think even if you get the 3 players, you challenge for the league.
I think a better way to word it: are they capable of sustaining?
I think we can challenge for the league. I don't think we can win the league. I don't think we can win the league.
You should be winning the league.
If you get, pardon?
You should be winning the league, though.
You should be based on how many years it's been there now.
Based on how much money is spent,
if we get those 3 players, are we better than? Is that team better than Man City?
No.
Is that team better than Man City?
It's not.
Why? So then, if the team that's in first has a better team than us, then why should we be winning the league then? If our team is worse than the team in first, does that make sense?
But does the best team always win the league?
No, always.
No, but we're just saying this based on paper, though, innit? So
that's what I'm saying.
Because you're saying with this player, with that starting 11, he should win the league. That's what you just said.
For me, next season,
City starting 11 is better than his starting 11, regardless if he gets these 3 players that are on top of our transfer list.
But like the players that United want to sign are 3 world-class players. Like I'm seeing the Man United.
Declan Rice is world-class.
They want you want Varane, Sancho, and Kane.
Yeah, the Kane thing now, that's not happening.
Varane, Sancho, and Kane, and you still can't guarantee
Kane is not. Kane is not. No, that's not, we know what Kane is not coming to Man United. We all know that. That's not a realistic thing. That's just paper talk. When we're talking about the 3 prime target,
most of your fan base is thinking that he's coming, bro.
Nah, they're deluded. Kane is not coming to Man United. That's anyone with realism in them knows that. Why would Kane come to Man United? That doesn't even make any sense. I'm talking about when I said the 3 targets. I'm talking about a CDM, a right winger, and a centre back.
So Sancho,
even if he's Sancho, Rice, personally, I don't think Varane either. I think Varane's just. I think the whole Varane situation is similar to the Ramos thing, like where defenders always use us to get new contracts at their current club. I think it'll be Kunde. I think it'll be
Kunde.
I rate Kunde very highly.
So say because if Varane is, I don't think it's happening personally. I think if you get Kunde, Rice, even Rice, I don't think it's happening. If you get Kunde, Rice, and Sancho, is our team better than Man City's team?
No way.
In fact, I'll ask you 2 questions. Is our team better than Man City's team? And is our squad better than Man City's squad?
No
way. The answer is no for both of them. So how are you saying if he gets his targets, he should be winning the league?
Also, I'm not just going to be like going this one way. Like Liverpool won the league and City have a much better team than Liverpool.
They didn't have a better squad. They didn't have a better team.
So it works both. I mean, it works both ways, but.
Liverpool starting at 11.
Hey, you man, we've been on this pod for like time.
Yeah,
now.
I can't lie. I need to get ready for work. So,
we've been on this thing for time. Hey,
I said like 5 minutes.
We didn't even finish the Magic merry-go-round.
Hey, let's
I can't lie.
Let's talk about Carlo quickly. What's our thoughts on Carlos Real Madrid? I'm very surprised at that one.
He flopped at Everton, by the way. He just wants to.
Davis is going to Real Madrid.
Hey, come on.
You
can argue he flopped to Everton because he didn't really do anything of substance.
Yes, because I've been seeing tweets saying that it's so sad that he's leaving Everton where he was building some sort of project, and I'm like,
he wasn't building anything.
He wasn't. Yeah, they were quite.
But at the same time, I think me and you had this discussion on Twitter, wherever it was. A lot of people were saying it's a shocking signing. I wouldn't say it's a shocking signing. It's not the greatest signing. Obviously, Conte would have been a better option. Allegri would have been a better option. But it's not a bad signing. Like, he's still a good manager.
Yeah, does Carlo win the league or Champions League next season?
I think he can win the league, yeah.
I think he can.
I think he can win the league.
I think he can win the league. unfortunately.
Koeman's a poor manager. Barcelona's team's in shambles.
I think Simeone will go
Yeah.
back to back with the way.
You
Hopefully.
think Atleti will go?
Yeah.
Atleti are not going back to back.
I don't
This is
think
Atleti's
Atleti are
best
consistent.
opportunity to go back to back.
It is, but I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think
their
they're,
best, but they
I don't think
won't.
they're consistent enough. Like at the end of the season, they nearly bowled a 10-point lead.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Wasn't it 13 points at one point?
Was
It was
yeah,
ridiculous.
it's bad.
Yeah.
It was-
We're gonna see, innit? But yeah, you man. Hey, we were on this for time, bro. Like, damn. Hey, extended highlights. You know the ones there. But if you man enjoyed it, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you share with your friends, man. Make sure you share with your friends. Euros is coming about, so you man know we're on. Gonna be covering the Euros definitely. But yeah, you man, safe for popping through. We'll catch you again next week.